Electimuss Imperium. Do I think it's worth it? Stay tuned to find out. What's up, fragrance family? It's your boy Neeb with Aromatics, and today we are going to discuss the well-known fragrance from the house of Electimuss, and it's known as Imperium. I introduced this fragrance in the first episode of my Discovery or Let's Discover series, and this was one of the two bottles that I actually got a full bottle of. And so I was able to get the appropriate number of wears on this fragrance in various settings. And I think I've formulated everything that I want to say about this fragrance. I've really decided whether or not I enjoy it, whether or not I'm going to wear it anymore, and if I could go back, if I would purchase it again or not. And I'm sorry to say that I was not blown away with Electimuss's Imperium. The biggest gripe that I had with this fragrance is that the DNA was extremely familiar. And when I introduced this in the Let's Discover series, one of the things that I talked about was that this gets compared to Creed Aventus, and that the DNA does smell familiar. And when I did the first impressions, kind of got a little bit of a Creed Aventus feel or vibe, but it wasn't necessarily 100% clone, and I stand by that. It's not a clone of Creed Aventus. It does things very different than Creed Aventus were too. Now, if you spray it on, will you feel Creed Aventus or get hints of Creed Aventus? Sure, you will. I'm not gonna lie, you will, definitely. But I don't want to call it a twist, and mind you guys, I don't get anything for free. I paid for all of my fragrances, including this fragrance. So no sponsorships, nothing. The main reason I started this channel was to keep it 100% honest, and I will always stick to that. So I'm going to be brutally honest regardless of who likes it and who doesn't like it. Now, I understand there are some people that thoroughly enjoy this fragrance, and my intention is not to offend anyone or to make you feel like it's not, a valid fragrance or anything like that. So with that out of the way, let's get back into the fragrance. Now, my experience with it was lackluster, to say the least. I wore this for about 2 days, actually a little bit more than that, but I wore it for 2 consecutive days, and then I took a break from it, just because I was a little underwhelmed. I was underwhelmed in terms of the performance for the fragrance and also the scent profile. Now, if you smelt Creed Aventus or if you smelt Nishane's Hashivat, then you know what this smells like. And I would have to say that it seems like it's a blend of Hashivat and Nishane's Ani. And I'm looking at the notes here now, and they don't necessarily share the same notes. So I'm gonna put the notes on the screen for Imperium, and we're just gonna kind of break down this fragrance and really go into it. Biggest thing with the Electimuss was, well, the number one thing that I noticed with Electimuss throughout my wearing was that it's pretty weak in terms of projection. Projection was pretty soft almost immediately. Mind you guys, my home of sprays, I don't mess around. When I test a fragrance, I test a fragrance. So I sprayed it about 14 times, maybe 13. I just knew that the scent profile wasn't really too much in my face, and I knew that I wanted to give it a solid chance. I don't do 3 sprays. I've never sprayed anything less than 4 sprays, and I'm just being honest. And those are like those nuclear fragrances like Amouage, Interlude Man, or certain fragrances of that genre that can actually be offensive if you overspray. Now, there is some Rosasi fragrances that just
slap you in the face.
So you get the idea. And with this one, I knew it was a different story, so I applied it about, I think it's safe to say, 12 to 14 times, just to really give it a chance. And I basically sprayed the fragrance, a couple sprays behind my ear, 1 behind my neck, 1 on my hat, couple on the front of my neck, sprays all over my shirt, made sure I got my arm, got my hand, and all that good stuff. Just so that when I'm actually testing it, when I go back, I can smell my shirt, I can smell my hand, it's still there, is it not still there? And generally, the fragrances that have some oomph and power to it, they last throughout my entire workout without a problem. I make sure not to, if I sanitize my hands, not to get the top of my hand and stuff like that. But so, let's go ahead and do the opening, and we can kind of also discuss some of the fragrance issues that I had and what I liked about it as well, because there are some things that I actually did enjoy about the fragrance. But let's get into it. I mean, wow, that sprayer is phenomenal. So this is the thing with the opening in this. The combination of that bergamot along with that spice in the coriander is kind of what takes it in that Aventus feel almost. And then the rose and saffron and jasmine, so it's very smooth. The saffron, the leathery quality, the leathery trait, it's there. I don't get too much lily. I get a touch of jasmine and neroli and tuberose. So all those florals in the center of the fragrance, it doesn't necessarily take it in a floral direction. However, what it does is it just gives it a nice, well-balanced floral quality. So there are some florals in that center, but it's not the focus of this fragrance. It's mostly around that like tuberose and bergamot, coriander. It's nothing body odor smelling whatsoever. And the saffron, the leathery saffron is definitely there. Amber as well, and vanilla. Vanilla is very popping in this fragrance. From the opening of the fragrance, I definitely get 3 notes. I get that bergamot, I get the spice from the coriander, and vanilla. It's a super rich vanilla, very good quality vanilla for sure. Very, very good quality. And the oud, it's there in the back, but it's blended with the other woods and the patchouli and the coriander. And so I think those combination of that dark, earthy woods kind of give it that birch quality. It's not just the coriander alone, but it kind of gets mossy on me. And I don't know if it's the combination of that oud and the patchouli, but when I smell the fragrance, it's not like I get oud. It's not like that. Like maybe if you get like an oud wood chip and you smell like a fresh unburnt wood chips, it's very natural smelling oud. So it's a dry, not too in your face, not a burning oud chip, not incensey, but it just gives it a little bit of a smoke quality or trait, that oud along with the gaiac wood, along with that patchouli and coriander. It's a little bit spicy, woody, a touch smoky, and then mostly just bergamot, some tuberose, and we definitely have that vanilla and amber. So that's basically how I felt this fragrance developed also, is that opening with the citruses, along with some of that spice kick. The oud along with other woods was there almost in the first 2 minutes. So it's not like I got my nose on it and smelled one wood or the other, but that oud is a very natural wood chip oud, a touch smoky, not too much, and that's what gives it that Aventus or whatever feeling that people on Fragrantica are just comparing it to, along with the super rich vanilla, amber, and musk. But the fragrance itself is beautiful, the composition, but it did something on me that I actually did not enjoy. It got very mossy. The bergamot and the fresh traits of the fragrance remained. However, I was not blown away. Now, if I haven't smelled Hashivat or Creed Aventus, this would have been like, oh wow, cool, it's good. It is good. It's a good scent profile. But for what's out there, I can't justify the price. The only thing that justifies the price, in my opinion, for this fragrance is the bottle. I hate to say it, and I don't want to step on any toes, but believe it or not, guys, I've smelt this scent DNA for under 50 bucks. Yes, I sure have. And it's a fragrance that I actually hyped. And it was the Qaid Al-Fursan by Latafa that actually smells close to Imperium. And believe it or not, this did outlast it. This definitely outlasted it. The quality of ingredients, without a shadow of a doubt, in my mind, that this exceeds that quality. However, that scent DNA, it's been there, it's there, and I'm just not crazy blown away. And so it takes some of those Nishane Ani, that very vanilla-y, spicy quality, along with that hashivat, like the pineapple-y, citrusy DNA, and it mashes it up. And that's technically what I get with Imperium. So is it a good fragrance? Yes. If I could go back, would I purchase this again? No, I definitely would not. Nonetheless, I'm not disappointed because this is a very gorgeous bottle. And I kid you not, guys, this is almost 7.5 pounds. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's at least 7 pounds. And that's really it. That's really all I have to say about Electimuss Imperium. I wouldn't consider it a flop, but it's definitely not something unique. It's not something I have not smelled before. It just doesn't scream, longevity, performance, niche quality, or anything like that. The scent is relatively niche. You can sense the quality in it for sure. And basically, judging off the scent DNA, I think that it's appropriate to wear in the summertime. It might actually perform in the spring and fall a little bit better just because of the thickness of the fragrance itself. However, as a whole, I am not crazy about Electimuss Imperium, and I just don't think that I would purchase it again. That's really all I have to say about Electimuss Imperium, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video half as much as I did making it for you guys. Peace.